Okay, let's go to second question.
Right?
They ask you if Allah as Subhanahu wa Taala is just a creation of the imagination of Muhammad, or Muhammad stole it from a myth. And as we read in Sirah Nabawiyah, it says like Abdul Muttalib prayed to Hubal, which he called Allah.
Again, we have an echo.
Tolong jangan dibuka ya, teman-teman, mute-nya. Ada echo, okay.
We just mentioned that there's it's not just a name. Let us say the Muslim, they change the name of their God. They don't call him Allah no more. They call him even Yeshua, the Messiah. Still, their God is not our God. The differences between us and them is not about a name. It is about the value and about the teaching. But the name is something additional. First of all, Allah is not the name of the God of the Muslims. The word Allah is two words, A-L and Lah. Lah is the moon god. The word A-L, Al, is the word mean God. In Arabic today, we use it as a word the, which means like you put a word the before a word, like the house, the tree. So Allah is not the name. Many people think that Allah is the name of the God of Muhammad. In fact, it is not. It is just two words merged together, Allah, which means God lah. So their God, we do not need to prove that he is the moon god. It says that in Arabic, Allah. This is why if you go to Al-Fatiha chapter number 1 and verse number 1 and 2, you will see there's two words, but both of them supposedly is Allah, but they don't look the same. So the first one is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, where it says in the name of Allah, the first one, in the name of Allah. And here you will find that here there's an alif. This is Allah, but here we don't find that. Why? It's taken off because simply it's not part of the name. So Allah is not a name. Lah is the name. You cannot take a letter from the name unless it is additional letter. Go ahead, translate.
Ya, jadi tidak sama ya. Kalau di dalam Quran itu nama dewa mereka adalah Lah. Jadi ya Lah itu nama dewanya dan Al itu adalah definite artikel atau kata sandangnya. Jadi Allah yang mereka sembah itu adalah Lah dan bukan merupakan Allah yang sama yang kita sembah. I think I heard double, brother. I heard myself double. Okay. Good. Nah, jadi sekarang teman-teman, ya, kalau kita mengamati kata-kata lah ini bukan hanya perbedaan, bukan hanya kesamaan nama ya. Misalnya mereka menyembah Allah, kita juga ada Allah di dalam Alkitab, tapi ini merupakan karakter yang berbeda, ya, sehingga kita tidak bisa menyamakan dua karakter ini. Jadi kalau itu sebuah nama Allah, maka itu tidak bisa dipisah ya. Bismillah gitu nggak bisa ya. Jadi karena ada kalau kata ini adalah nama diri Allah, maka Allah itu nggak bisa dipisah ya. So do you think it's a Hubal God that they're referring to Allah in pra-Islamic?
There is no need to go to Hubal. Allah himself is a moon god, and that proves that Islam is a pagan religion. There is many gods around Allah, and when the Muslim they say the word mushrikeen does not mean that those people, the pagan, don't worship Allah. No, in fact they worship Allah as Al, which means a god lah, and beside him they worship other gods. So I don't want to look for the name, say he is Hubal or other god. Lah himself is enough to prove that Muhammad is a pagan god. All of us, we knew that the Muslim, they kiss a black stone. And this black stone exists before Islam. It's not something new. And the Muslim, they claim it's coming from Allah in heaven. But it's the very funny, very stupid statement. As long Allah will not establish a house without a stone, well, that's mean every house in the world should have a stone from Allah. And then we find that the Kaaba is placed in the wrong location. This is why always we see a flood in the place of the Kaaba. So I don't want to change to say I call him Hubal. Stay with the Lah. He is the moon god, and the moon god is what the Muslims they say to us by their own mouth. For his name is two words, Al-Lah. In the same time, you will find that everything in Islam is based on the moon. When we say the moon god, it doesn't mean that the Muslims worship the moon or a god, his name is moon. No. The moon god, there's two gods. One is in charge of the moon and one in charge of the sun. And there was a competition between them. And Muhammad and the Arab, they choose the moon god, for he is the one in charge of the moon, because it was a nice god who always make their night nice, easy, not hot, it doesn't kill them, while the sun god is the god who kill their vegetables, take their water, kill their animals, and make their life miserable. So the Arab, they choose the moon god, Lah, because they are living in the desert. In the same time, those who live in Europe, they worship the sun god. Why? Because Europe is cold. So those who live in the desert, they like Allah. Those who live in the cold area, they like the other god, the sun god. Go ahead.
Ya, jadi Lah ini menurut Sipi adalah dewa bulan ya. Jadi orang-orang Arab pada waktu itu menyembah dewa bulan, dan orang-orang pagan Quraisy bukan tidak kenal Allah. Mereka menyembah Allah, tapi mereka juga menyembah dewa-dewa lainnya, ya, dewa-dewa berhala lainnya. Sehingga mereka itu melakukan penyembahan berhala bersama dengan dewa Lah ini. Nah, kenapa dewa bulan? Karena pada waktu itu di padang Arab itu karena sangat panas, sangat tandus, mereka suka dengan bulan ini ya. Bukan berarti mereka tuh menyembah dewa bernama bulan ya, atau menyembah dewa bulan, tetapi yang menguasai ya, yang berotoritas atas bulan itulah mereka sembah, roh yang menguasai bulan itu. Nah, karena pada waktu itu di Arab itu merupakan tanah yang kering, jadi mereka suka bulan ya, karena sejuk gitu. Tapi kalau di Eropa, di negara-negara Eropa, karena mereka itu dingin, mereka suka menyembah kepada dewa matahari ya, karena memberikan kehangatan seperti itu. Okay. Is that all, brother?
If you look in the screen in YouTube, you can see that the Kaaba always was flooded by little rain, and that will bring all the sewage into the Kaaba. And that's what's happening for since the start of Islam until now. And if Allah is the one who chose the location for his house, that means Allah is a very bad engineer. You don't put your house in an area, all the poo will come to it. So the legions, Muslims are people who believe in fictions, not in facts. Because if I am a person praying to Allah and Allah, he told me to build a house in that location, I need to ask myself, why this Kaaba is placed in the wrong location? And can't Allah order the ground even to go up so the Kaaba will not be flooded by poo? So everything in Islam is a pagan. Those are the Arab. Long time before, there was 26 Kaaba, and this Kaaba is one of them.
Kaaba.
Go ahead, translate, and we'll continue.
Oke, jadi Ka'bah ini dibangun di daerah lembah ya, di daerah dataran lembah. Jadi itu selalu tergenang banjir, teman-teman. Jadi kalau Anda lihat di YouTube di situ di Ka'bah itu selalu tergenang banjir. Nah, kalau Allah ini yang memilih lokasinya, ini Allah ini sangat-sangat teknik insinyur yang sangat-sangat jelek ya. Karena dia memilih lokasi yang nggak tepat, tempat di mana rumahnya itu selalu tergenang banjir. Oke, I got an echo. Ya, jadi rumahnya Allah yang di Ka'bah sekarang yang ada di Mekah itu tergenang banjir selalu, teman-teman ya. Jadi ini kalau Tuhan sendiri yang memilih tempat ini, maka Tuhan ini seorang engineer yang sangat buruk ya. Dan selalu tergenang oleh selokan ya. Jadi kotoran-kotoran dari selokannya itu naik sehingga mengenangi Ka'bah. Kalau itu bisa Anda lihat di YouTube ya. Okay. Can we get into the third question?
Let us, we did not finish yet.
Okay.
So the pagan god of Islam is a collection of gods, not only one. Because you see, the Muslim, they believe in Tawheed. What Tawheed mean? The Muslim, they used to have many pagan gods, and Muhammad, he decided to unite them. All of us, we hear Muslim always say, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Wu in Arabic mean and. So who is Akbar? Akbar is the sun god. If you go in the Quran, you will find the story of Abraham, that Abraham, when he saw the sun, he said, this is Akbar.
Mhm. Iya,
هذا,
jadi di
he said,
di
هذا
Semenanjung Arab itu
هذا ربي
mhm,
هذا أكبر.
mhm. Oke, let me translate it. Jadi di Semenanjung Arab itu ada 26 Ka'bah, dan Ka'bah yang ada di Mekah ini cuma salah satunya aja ya teman-teman, yang selalu tergenang banjir. Nah sekarang kalau kita lihat Muslim itu selalu mengatakan Allahu Akbar ya. Hu dalam bahasa Arab berarti juga dan. Jadi Allah dan Akbar. Nah Akbar ini adalah dewa matahari. Nah kalau kita lihat di dalam Quran, what chapter?
Chapter 6, verse number 78.
Jadi surah ke-6 ayat 78. Jadi Abraham itu melihat matahari nih teman-teman.
In the translation, possible, I don't understand the Indonesian, but maybe they translate the word Akbar as a greater. Is that correct?
Yeah, greater.
That's false, because Akbar
This
have
is
nothing
my
to do
Lord,
with the
this is
greater.
greater.
Yeah, Akbar in Arabic, it can be used for age, like I can say, like I want to say, I'm older than you. Akbar can be for value, this is true. But here we are comparing about solid object, the sun, the moon, and stars. So what value? There's no value except the size. So when Abraham, he saw the sun, he said, this is Akbar, and he was quoting what the people call the sun god name, Akbar. You will notice that he did not say Akbar for when he worshipped the moon. You see here in verse number 77, Abraham, when he saw the moon coming, he said, this is my Lord, but he did not use the word Akbar. When he saw a planet, he said, this is my God, but he did not use the word Akbar. But when he saw the sun, he said, this is Akbar. So Muhammad was doing Tawheed, which means unification between two gods, the moon god and the sun god, and he want to make them one God, that is Allah.
Iya, jadi kata Akbar di surah di ayat 78, ini kalau diterjemahkan ini Tuhanku lebih besar, ya sebenarnya tidak. Tapi Akbar ini merupakan nama daripada dewa matahari. Karena ini membandingkan antara suatu benda yang padat, ya. Jadi bintang, matahari, bulan itu dibandingkan di sini. Ketika dia melihat planet, dia tidak mengatakan ini lebih besar, ini Tuhanku. Ketika dia melihat bintang, dia tidak mengatakan ini Tuhanku, ini lebih besar. Tapi ketika Abraham itu melihat matahari, dia berkata inilah Tuhanku, ini Akbar. Jadi Akbar di sini, so Akbar is a name, right, brother? It's not like the word greater, but it's a name of the sun god.
Yeah, this is why he said, this is Akbar. He didn't say, like in Arabic, it's so clear. He says, هذا Akbar. He didn't say, because in Arabic, when you say Akbar, you have to add something between them. As an example, if I want to mean size,
Yeah, comparing to
if I want to mean
things.
size, it's mean I'm comparing. So I have to say this Akbar from this, which means if I have two apples, I will say this apple Akbar from this apple. So I have to mention two apples. Here you will see he is not mentioning that. He says, this is Akbar. This is Akbar. The Muslim translation, when they say this is great, this is a false translation. Akbar, because even when the Muslim they say Allah Akbar, you ask them what does that mean? They say Allah is a great. No, Akbar is not the word. Even if we use it as a great, it cannot be great. You have to say greater, not great. Akbar is the same as big, bigger. You know what I mean? It's not like you say, if you want to say great, the word azim. Azim is great. Akbar is about bigger. So if I want to use the word Akbar, then I have to use it comparing to something else from the same kind. I cannot say this apple is smaller than the elephant, because elephant is not an apple. That is silly. So I can compare between two apples, or between two cats, or between two dogs. But here you will see he did not add any description after. He said, this is Akbar, which means he used it as a name.
Oke, jadi di sini kata Akbar ini digunakan sebagai nama. Karena kalau Akbar itu lebih besar, berarti harus membandingkan dua objek atau dua benda. Misalnya, ini apel lebih besar daripada lebih besar daripada apel yang ini. Jadi harus ada perbandingan kalau ini digunakan kata lebih besar. Jadi sekalipun kata akbar itu bisa digunakan untuk sesuatu yang membandingkan, tapi khusus dalam ayat 78 ini teman-teman, dia diberikan kepada nama ya. Jadi dewa matahari di sini yang namanya akbar. Jadi kalau kita tanya muslim misalnya Allahu Akbar, mereka akan mengatakan Allah lebih besar, ya. Atau Allah yang terbesar. Sebenarnya enggak, kata yang terbesar itu ada bahasa Arabnya sendiri. Ya, ada bahasa Arabnya. Azim, right, brother? Azim. Right, it means the biggest.
Yeah, yeah,
So, akbar.
yeah. It's like like you choose one over other one, so it's bigger by size. The same as in English we say, big, bigger, the
Bigger, and
biggest.
biggest.
Yeah,
Ya.
yeah.
Ya, jadi ada yang
But
besar, ada yang lebih besar, ada yang
this is
terbesar.
bigger.
Ya, dia lebih besar, ya.
Yeah. But in here it's not a bigger. Here it's a name.
Ya, jadi di ayat itu adalah nama daripada dewa matahari yang bernama Akbar, ya, kan membandingkan dua objek.
And then Muhammad, because he is ignorant, he did not speak Aramaic, but he heard that he heard the word Hanif. All of us, we know the Muslim, they use the word Hanif. They say Abraham, he's a Hanif. He was a Hanif.
Yeah.
Hanif mean pagan. Hanif in Aramaic,
in Aramaic.
mean pagan.
Yeah.
So Muhammad is a foolish. So he is saying, he is saying Abraham, he become pagan. He converted to paganism.
Ya. Oke, jadi karena Muhammad itu sekali lagi dia tidak berbahasa Aramaik, jadi dia tidak tahu bahwa dalam bahasa Aramaik arti kata Hanif itu artinya penyembah berhala. Jadi ketika dikatakan Abraham itu adalah seorang yang Hanif, artinya dia tuh sudah menjadi seorang penyembah berhala, teman-teman. Ya.
Yeah. So everything Muhammad he came with is very weird because this guy, he do not know. Actually, if we ask Muslims who is Abraham, they don't know. Who is Abraham? Who is this guy Abraham? They don't know. Okay, what he was, they don't know. Okay, where we can find where he was, they don't know. So Muhammad is a thief. He learned some stories from the Jews and he inserted those names in his book. And because of that, there's like, when you steal something and I ask you where you get this from, where
you
you
don't know
get it
what
from,
it means. Yeah,
you do not know.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Ya, jadi karena Muhammad ini kan mencuri ya teman-teman ya, mencuri cerita kita dengar-dengar dari cerita orang Yahudi. Sehingga kalau ditanya, mereka nggak tahu Abraham artinya apa. Coba Anda tanya ke Muslim, arti nama Abraham apa? Mereka nggak ada yang tahu. Kenapa? Karena mereka itu pencuri, teman-teman. Kalau Anda mencuri sesuatu, kemudian Anda ditanya asal-usulnya, originnya, maka dia nggak bisa jelaskan karena dia tuh cuma pencuri, ya, karena itu bukan miliknya dia.